This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What is going on, everyone, and welcome to your Thursday night episode of Unscripted, live here on our Facebook channel at Unscripted, over on Northeast Streaming Sports as well. Check them out on Facebook and on YouTube. They have a lot of amazing content with a lot of great people, so please go check them out and support all of them as well. Also, thank you to BSD Radio for our podcast platforms. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Thanks to Ben Suthereth. You do a tremendous job, buddy, and I'm sure we're going to be talking to you in just a second because you always chime in. I'm your host and producer tonight, Logan Landers, and joining me on this nice Thursday is my guy, Frankie C. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, everybody? I'm sorry I couldn't come in on Tuesday. I was sleeping, honestly. I've been working overnights a lot lately, so I was really
Sleeping on
knocked
the
out.
job. Nah, Frankie's one of the hardest workers here. No Jay tonight. Jay is at a Saliva concert, so hopefully he's having a fun time, getting drunk and banging his head with the best of them. So Jay, I'm sure he has this on his phone, Frankie, because I'm sure he's going to be just checking down, seeing how we're doing. Because obviously, I think we are a little bit bigger than the bands he's watching right now. I'm just saying.
Definitely. He'll give us more love than that band.
There we go. All right, well, let's get into it. We got a good bit of topics tonight. But first, it is Thursday, so you know what that means. It's time for some Thursday night football, baby. The Steelers and the Vikings. Frankie, I'm going to let you kick things off, no pun intended, between these two guys. Both teams are a little bit down the dumps. The Vikings they lost to the Lions. Well, what more can you say? And the Steelers, they're just kind of mid. So what do you think about this matchup? It's kind of a lower ranking Thursday night football game this year.
Well, you look at it and you think, well, it's the Steelers versus Vikings. It's not going to be a very important Thursday night football game. But in all honesty, this is a very important game for both teams. The Steelers coming off of a close win over the Ravens last week. And like you said, the Vikings being the first team to hand over the Detroit Lions their first win of the season. So the good part of this football game is Delvin Cook. He's coming in tonight. He's available. He was supposed to be out 2 games, but he was only out one. He's coming back to play in tonight. They are missing Adam Thielen. He is not going to be playing in this game. He's still out. And with the Steelers, coming off a good division win in the Baltimore Ravens, it puts a lot on you. And then you're looking at it as this is a must win because if we lose, we're out of the playoffs.
Right.
They are currently outside looking in, and they know that they have to win every game from here on out in order for them to even try and make it into the playoff picture. So, and with the Vikings, they're also right there. They can win this game and they can be in the wild card. They can lose this game and they'll continue to stay in the hunt. So they're also in the same bench as the Steelers, where they also feel that they need to win the rest of the season. And I remember on Tuesday, one of the topics was their head coach. Is he going to be on the hot seat? And I'll tell
He's
you
got to win
what,
this one.
yeah, if he loses this game, I will change my thought and I will say yes, Mike Zimmer will continue to be on the hot seat.
Yep.
If it was though Tuesday, I will tell you no, he's not on the hot seat. Mike Zimmer's still a good coach. He's still,
Right.
he turned the Vikings around. I
Yep.
mean, they haven't had a good, type of season, but he's taken them to the playoffs since he's been there. So Mike Zimmer's a good coach. It's just this year's not a good year for him. And if he loses this game after losing to the Detroit Lions, he will definitely be in the hot seat for this year.
We have a comment here from our guy Joshua Bailey, a resident Packers fan, with the cheese comments. What's going on, Josh? Haven't seen you in a minute, man. I hope you're doing good. Glad to see
He
you
knew
back
I
on the
was
show
in here.
comment.
That's why.
Yeah, that's why. He's got notifications set for just when you're on the show, Frankie. That's why he didn't chime in on Tuesday. But yeah, Thursday night football, the Vikings coming off a tough loss. The Steelers are, the Steelers, let's not forget, they're the team that tied with the Lions. So both these teams have been, let's just say, beaten up by the Lions before, right? The Steelers are 6-5-1. They're third in the AFC North. They're still hanging around. There's a lot of teams at this moment with records with 6 wins, 7 wins, right? So the Steelers are bunched in there, and so are the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings are second in the NFC North at 5-7. So that just lets you know how that division's going, right? So the Steelers, they have a little bit of an advantage, I would say, but not much. Ben Roethlisberger's been okay this year. 2,758 yards, 64% completion percentage. But the real key, Frankie, he's got 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's not too bad. But my God, he's been sacked 25 times. That O-line is not helping their aging quarterback who, let's face it, this looks like this is probably going to be his last year in Pittsburgh. And, I mean, that's going to be another topic for another show. But the Steelers really, I think, need to draft or need to trade this offseason for a new quarterback because I don't trust Mason Rudolph to lead the franchise for the next 5-10 years. So, that's another topic. So Roethlisberger, hopefully he can, keep doing good. Hopefully he can stay upright. And like Josh says, whoever's defense plays the best is going to win this game.
Yes,
that's exactly how it's going to be. And I mean, the Vikings, Mike Zimmer is a defensive-oriented head coach, but they haven't really shown it much this year. It's kind of been on and off. They haven't been really consistent. I mean, they've given up, 30 points here and there, but I mean, they gave up almost 30 to the Lions last week, 34 to the Packers and to the 49ers. So for a defensive-oriented head coach, they're not playing defense much. So that's why I give it to the Steelers slightly. I mean, the Vikings do have some good players. Kirk Cousins has looked pretty solid this year, right? 25 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. But you mentioned Dalvin Cook coming back. He could be a weapon for them. They have Justin Jefferson, who's one of the more, who's an electric wide receiver. And like you said, the defense is going to be key. Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith, Xavier Woods, all those guys, Danielle Hunter, right, for the Vikings need to step up and have a big game. And if you're the Steelers, you got to rely on your young guys, Mika Fitzpatrick, Cam Haywood, Devin Bush, TJ Watt. So, especially TJ Watt, I picked him to be my defensive player of the year. And right now he's, like I said, Josh said, is he playing tonight? I actually don't know. I know he's been out.
I will double check with you. I'm looking it up right now.
All right. Yeah, I know he's been out recently. I love how once, back in September when I predicted that, Frankie, he's been hurt. So I apologize. That is the way it works here in the sportscasting community. We always have to curse someone, right? That's just how it is. That's the way of the world. Josh also said Ben is washed. I mean, Josh, I've been not a hater, but I've been on that bandwagon of Ben needs to hang up probably 2-3 years ago, right? After he got all those surgeries on his arm and his shoulder, he hasn't had that cannon of an arm that got him Super Bowls, right? That got him to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And you look at it's like two sides of the coin, right? Frankie, you got your guy Tom Brady, who's 44, 45, and he's looking tremendous, MVP in my books. And then you also have Ben Roethlisberger, who's been playing just kind of middle of the road football, right? Nothing amazing, but nothing just. I mean, he's had a few tough games, but I personally thought he should have retired last year, maybe. But this is definitely going to be the end of the year. Josh, if you're chiming in, who do you think the Steelers should get? Should they trade for someone like Jameis Winston, Teddy Bridgewater? Those going to be free agents, maybe.
For the Steelers?
Yeah, I just throwing out name.
No, they still got Dwayne Haskins.
I forgot he was even on the team, Frankie. Jeez.
He's on the bench learning.
You think he's going to be the franchise quarterback for the Steelers?
Well, would you rather give it to Rudolph? Mason Rudolph? No. I wouldn't.
Here's the name, Frankie. Just popped in my mind. Who's going to be a quarterback that's about to get exiled from their team? Jimmy Garoppolo. They're pushing him out. They got Trey Lance right behind him. I'm just saying that's a person that's just me.
I would go with I would go with Daniel Jones.
You talking about Russell Wilson? There ain't no way the Seahawks giving him up. They just gave him a fat contract. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way they're giving up Russell Wilson. I know the Seahawks suck right now, but ain't no way they're giving up their franchise quarterback
They suck because of their defense. They don't suck because of Russell
Yeah.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson's still a solid quarterback. I know he's had a few tough games this year, but their defense, the Legion of Boom, is just nothing anymore. It's done.
TJ Watt is active tonight. He will be
All right,
playing.
sweet. All right, I'm expecting at least 15 tackles from him. Big game, big game. Also,
Well, he is going up against the backup. The starting defensive end is or offensive lineman is
offensive, yeah,
out, so he's
yeah,
going up against the backup.
yeah. So I think, yeah, like Josh said, I think whatever defense pressures the QB most, and I mean, Kirk Cousins has the slight mobility factor against Ben Roethlisberger, who's just a statue in the pocket. So I think that if I had to go with the final prediction on this, Frankie, I'm gonna go with the. I'm not gonna give a score, but I think the Vikings gonna pull this one out. Who do you got?
I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers on this one. I
Okay.
feel like the Steelers are a tougher defense on this one. I feel like the defense could get to Kirk Cousins because the offensive line for the Vikings is just not. They haven't been as good as they. Yeah, we're not gonna say dominant
Right.
because they're not dominant, but
They're
they're
not
not as good
on
as
par
they
as they think.
were.
Right.
This
Right.
offensive line is getting trash, and the defense is for the Steelers is just
A little too good, yeah. The only reason I'm picking the Vikings is because I just think I have a feeling, right, Frank? Something you just get that gut feeling. I think Dalvin Cook. I think that coming back, I think that if the O line does hold up for him, if he can get a few holes, I think he's gonna have a decent game. Kirk Cousins has looked really good this year, though. Whenever he's getting the opportunity to, he's throwing the ball pretty good. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings. You got the Steelers, and we will see who wins that one. Well, it's Thursday, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about Monday Night Football, the game coming up in a few days. The preview between it's gonna be a good game. Really good Monday night game.
Yes.
Arizona Cardinals with the, I believe, best record in the NFL. I think 10-2, 10-3.
10
Going
and
to
2.
miss the LA Rams, who have, they've been up and down last couple of weeks. So still trying to get all their pieces fixed and get everything working. Von Miller, OBJ, the list goes on and on with all the guys they've added. So Monday Night Football, Frankie, who do you got in this one? Because it's going to be I hope this is a good game. Because you usually get like two teams, right, who are good and who you expect to have an explosive matchup, good offense, good defense, all of that. But it ends up being a blowout, right? So who do you have winning this one, and what do you think is going to be the outcome for the Cardinals and Rams?
Well, let me tell you, man. Like you said, this is going to be a wonderful Monday night. You think the Monday night game between the Buffalo Bills and the Patriots was, decent?
I'm not going to say that's good. I'm not
It
saying
was
that's a good
great
game.
to me. It was great football.
I
I
know
mean,
it was.
what other team can run the ball the entire night and walk away with a victory? And your quarterback only threw 3 attempts and converted 2 with 19 yards. Can you say future GOAT? God.
He had that stat line memorized. Granted, it wasn't hard, but he's got it memorized.
No, but for this Monday night game, I expect a high scoring game, a fully healthy offense on the Arizona Cardinals against a very good offense in the Los Angeles Rams. Also, a great defense on both sides of the team as well. This is going to be a very hard impact division rival at that. These are division rivals right here. So not only is it playoff, a playoff moment right here. But this is for a division title. This is the first seed versus the second seed. And I'm going to tell you what, Logan, the Rams need it way more than the Cardinals do. The Rams need this win because I'll tell you something. If they lose this game, this might solidify their year and might be like a one game, one game playoff for them where they'll probably, have one game and get eliminated. So they need this win, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals are going to get it because you got Kyler Murray coming back healthy. Obviously, he came back last week and he was dominant. And you got DeAndre Hopkins back. You got a full offense back, and Chase Edmonds is also coming back. So they got their running back coming back. They're full strength. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I agree with Joshua Bailey. The Rams are fraud. They're a fraud team. Okay. Sean McVay, I think that's how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good coach, but I don't think he's as good as everybody says. Okay, he's really not good as everybody says. So I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals on this one.
Okay, yeah, I think you mentioned it. This is a kind of a must-win if you're a Ram. If you're the Rams, right? You're running out of time. There's not that many weeks left in the season. This is your division rival. I mean, the Cardinals. The Cardinals can afford to lose this game, right? because they have the best record. If they lose, it's not going to be the end of the world. If the Rams do, then you're going to start sweating a little bit. Because, like I mentioned before with the Thursday night preview, there's a lot of teams right now, Frankie, in the NFC that have those 6 wins, those 7 wins. Rams only have 8. So, depending on how this upcoming weekend shakes out, right, they could only be, a game out. Some team could be right behind them in the wild card standings. So, we'll see how it goes. I am going to go with the Cardinals also to get the win. I think it's just they got too much firepower, right? They got Kyler Murray, they got DeAndre Hopkins, they've got a lot. It's a great team. And they don't allow many points. They have a really good defense. They've only given up 224 points the whole year, which is very good. I think the best in the NFC, at least. I don't know about football. But I think that the Rams, they're still just trying to get everything gelled, right? And I don't know if it's going to be this week. I don't know if it's going to be next week. But I think they will get together, right? I could see like a late season push. But I'm not feeling confident in them at the moment, Frankie. They're still trying to get everything worked out. But they do have talent. Like you said, Sean McVay is a good coach. But I don't know if they're going to get this win. This is going to be a tough matchup for them. Josh is coming in saying Rams only have the best team on paper. And he hopes the Rams win so the Packers can get that 1 seed. Yeah, that is true. That is also a very good point.
Yeah, you wish the Packers could be the 1 seed like the Patriots, right?
That's what he's saying. That is exactly where he
We're
is
the
going.
1 seed with a rookie quarterback.
All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, not rookies, but speaking of quarterbacks, former MVPs, Lamar Jackson. Should we be worried, Frankie, since he's been a little bit slumping this year? Or is it nothing? What do you think?
No, I'm not worried. I'm not really worried. Quarterbacks, they have their up and downs. Look at Patrick Mahomes in the beginning of the year. We all said, he didn't look as good as, he was supposed to be, and then he turned it around. So Lamar Jackson, at the start of the season, he was dominant, and now he's having his little slump hump. I'm not worried at all. Lamar Jackson is going to snap out of it. I still like Lamar Jackson. I wish he was a Patriot. I'm really upset that Bill Belichick didn't pick him up. He picked up Sony Michel and N'Keal Harry rather than Lamar Jackson. So that pissed me off. But other than that, man, I'm not worried about Lamar Jackson. He's going to turn it around, and hopefully, it's tough for me to say this, but hopefully he makes it to the playoffs.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball a lot more this year, right? And with that comes a lot more interceptions. He's already got 13 on the year, which is already a career high. He's thrown the ball 378 times. That's second most in his career already. But the real key, I think, that's had him struggling, had him throwing some more interceptions and not looking as sharp, Frankie, is he's been sacked 37 times this season. 37. So he's having to scramble. He's having to just kind of force plays. And, I get you're going to get, Patrick Mahomes type of play where you're going to just look amazing. But most of the time, it ain't going to end up well, right? You're going to get sacked. You're going to throw an interception. And that's just kind of how it's going. Josh is saying that he's the only real playmaker on that offense. He needs help.
He does.
Look at the Ravens are, what are they, 7-4, I think, right now. So, they're not awful, but I definitely thought they would be a lot better at this time, right? I thought that they would just be more dominant. But when you look at that team, right? Oh, sorry, they're 8-4. When you look at the team, you look at the players, it's really just Lamar Jackson. And I get they're first in the AFC North right now, but they're not dominant, right? Marquise Brown's having a good year. The defense is helping him out. But on offense, it's really just Lamar Jackson. Their running backs are just shot, right? It's Latavius Murray. It's Devonta Freeman, right? And the receiving core, like I said, Marquise Brown's having a good year. Mark Andrews, and Sammy Watkins, and then a few other guys, but nothing crazy. So it's really just Lamar is that one big playmaker. So it's kind of tough. They're still holding in there. And like I said, it helps that the Steelers are struggling this year, right, in the AFC North, and that's why they're in first. And Joshua's coming in with the 37 with a crying emoji. I would be crying too if I got sacked 37 times. That ain't no joke. But yeah, the AFC North, with like I said, the Steelers are struggling. The Browns haven't looked as sharp this year. Um, the Bengals are on the rise, though, I will say. So watch out for the Bengals. They could easily take over that first seed. The Bengals are 7-5 right now, so they're game out. The Steelers are 6-5-1, and the Browns are 6-6. I really am, just to go off on a side piece real quick. I'm shocked, man, that the Browns are this bad.
I'm not.
Really? You thought
I'm
last year
not.
was a fluke? Last few years was a fluke?
I'm really not. This is the Browns, and Baker Mayfield literally he has
He's got some
what
issues.
like they just got the running core. I mean, Jarvis
Yeah.
Landry is he's a good wide receiver. He's one
But
of the greats.
he's not your number one. He should be your
Yeah,
number one, I don't think.
yeah.
But like I said, the running injuries haven't helped him, and the defense ain't helped him either. What's going on, Brandon? Saying, where is second place Jason McMahon tonight? Yeah, Brandon, he's at a concert, so he ain't going to be here tonight. He should be back on Saturday, though. Like I said, we go live Tuesdays, Thursdays at 7, Saturdays at 8. Had to get that plug in there real quick. So hopefully Jay's back on Saturday for some more great content. And don't worry, I see where you snuck that in there, Brandon, saying second place. We do have the fancy updates coming a little bit later in the show, so stick around for that. Since
The one thing I want to say about the Ravens before we go is Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they know that they need to turn it around now and they need to win now because, like you said, the Bengals are literally right there looking in.
yeah,
And the Bengals have already beaten the Ravens this year.
And I
So,
mean, like we said, I get the Steelers and the Browns have they're struggling a little bit, but it's only a game or two out, right? And there's still a lot of weeks left to play. A lot can happen, man. That's going to be a tight division. All right, well, Frankie, this is going to be a bittersweet one for you. What are the chances of a Tampa and New England Super Bowl right now?
the chances are really high. Honestly, it's really
you got a
high.
percentage for me?
I'm gonna go with a good like 76%, maybe.
76?
Maybe if not, I'll go about 71%. Because look at the Patriots defense, and I'm not gonna say this because I'm a hardcore Patriot fan. I'm gonna say this because I'm a football fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got the GOAT and Tom Brady with a really good offense and still a really top-notch defense. The same Super Bowl team that won it last year. He has the same team, and then you got Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time, and a young rookie in Mac Jones, who is honestly, in my opinion, the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. So, and you got a Patriots defense who's turned it around after starting 2-4. This honestly can be the Super Bowl, and then honestly, to me, I want this to be the Super Bowl.
I know you do.
I want to get a rematch against Tampa because Tampa, if they would have gave us Tampa later in the season and not earlier in the season where they know we're not that good in September, it would have been a different outcome than what it was at the last game. And we didn't lose that much by Tampa. We only lost by 2 points. So give me this rematch, and I'll come up with a different outcome. And I'm going to tell you the young will beat the GOAT. I feel that Tom Brady and the Bucks will lose to Bill Belichick and Mac Jones and that incredible defense that we have over there in Foxborough. I want this to happen.
Look, there's no bigger fan on the planet of the Patriots and of Tom Brady than you that I've ever met in my life. So I think this is I think all of us picked the Buccaneers to go to the Super Bowl. That's what we did at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But when I was looking this up, I think a lot of people are saying 10%, 15. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm not gonna go 70. I'm gonna go
70.
Nah, I'm gonna go 30. I got 30%. Right, there's still a few weeks left in the season. Obviously, the Buccaneers are running away with their division because the Falcons suck. The Panthers had a few good weeks, right? They started off hot, but they suck. And the Saints are mediocre. So I'm gonna go low because the Buccaneers ain't they've had a good schedule, and Tom Brady's looking great. The Patriots, they're looking hot. They're one of the hotter teams right now. We're going to be talking more about them in a little bit, but it's still a little too early for me, Frank. Pencil that in. Brandon's coming in. Oh, actually, he's got you beat, Frankie. He said, "Come on, 76." I say it's a 90% chance this will not be the Super Bowl.
He's only saying that because he knows he's got a 90% chance that his team's not going to make the playoffs.
I would say, Brandon, I think you're a Vikings fan, if I'm not mistaken, right? So He's a little upset right now.
Yeah, he'll see by
Brand, I
tonight
didn't
that
see
his
you.
team
I
will
didn't see you.
definitely have
Who
a
you got winning
90%
tonight?
chance.
Who you got winning tonight, Brandon? Who you got? You think the Vikings are going to pull it out? You got the Steelers. I know you hate them, but look. Let me just say, if Brandon wasn't just a spoiler, if Brandon wasn't first in the fantasy league, he wouldn't be talking like this, right? He wouldn't be talking. Frankie, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Jay
Chiming in
would be
from
watching.
the official unscripted account at the concert. He said, Brandon Herrera at a concert, you and me this week, bro. That's how dedicated our guy is, right? Look, you got people who take time off, right? That's all good. Jay is always on the grind. He's watching us at a concert. That's love. That's love. He's at 100% chance the Vikings will not make the playoffs. See, at least he's realistic, right? Right. Brad also.
Well, it's gonna have to come down to who the Buccaneers and the Patriots both face in the playoffs. If the Patriots can walk away with the first round bye, that'll be good because they have a good chance of seeing who we play. But it also depends with the Bucks. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's hot, but then again, he always chokes in the NFC Championship against Tom Brady. You have Arizona with Kyler Murray looking really good in that offense, and they got a chance at beating Tampa Bay. And you also have what's the other team? You have the Rams if they can make it. I was gonna say the Rams. You have the Rams if they can make it. I really feel that the Rams, if they could turn their season around, they can beat the Buccaneers because they have a really good. I'm not gonna say that they have really good a strong chance, but they have the players that can show us that they can beat them. Von Miller, Aaron Donald. Then you got the offense with Cooper Kupp and Odell. So that'll be a good matchup.
Cooper Kupp's probably the best receiver in football right now, which is crazy.
Yeah,
leading the league in I think touchdowns, receiving yards, anything catches. So obviously, Matt Stafford found his guy. Jason J, our boy, said Frankie better get that T-shirt ready. First, y'all got that bet going on. Brandon saying 99% the Vikings lose tonight, and he also picked the Vikings to lose last week. Brandon, I don't think you were here on Tuesday, but should the Vikings fire Mike Zimmer? Put that in the comments, and we will talk with you about it then. All right, let's keep moving, Frankie. Oh, well, actually, we have our promo here, so we will be back in just a second after this good word from Northeast Streaming Sports. Be back in a second.
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboys fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, Brooklyn. Hey, isn't he?
All right. Thank you, Northeast Streaming Sports, for the kind words. Please go check them out. They got a lot of great shows over there, a lot of great content. But Frankie, before we get started, Brandon chimed in. He said, yes, Mike Zimmer should be gone. So you heard right here, Vikings fans. Brandon Herrera should be the new head coach for the Minnesota Vikings in 2022. I think he's going to have a stellar defense, a top tier offense. He's going to be a player coach too, Frankie. He's going to be the QB and the coach. I'm ready for it. All right, you guys, before we get to our next topic, we have some good news. On Saturday, we're going to choose something different. We're going to put the link to our StreamYard account on Facebook. So what that means, right? We're going to put on our Facebook. We're going to remind you guys, hey, if you click on this link, we're going to add you into the show. We are going to bring you on. You can talk about a topic you want to talk about. Keep it clean, of course. We are a family-friendly show. So come on the show, talk about some sports, and we're going to see what this is like. So Brandon, if you want to come on, and talk some stuff, Josh Bailey, if you want to come on, talk some stuff, or any of our other fans who've been watching our show for a while, Ben Sutter, you can come on too. If you want to come on, talk some sports, come on here. We're going to put the link in the chat. Allow your laptop. Please use Google Chrome or a good phone with decent quality, please, because it can be rough out here. And allow your camera to work. Allow a decent phone. Don't be at a crowded place. And we'll add you into the show, and we can we'll have some good fan interaction. So we're gonna try this upcoming Saturday. We'll probably do it for a little bit, see how it works. And we'd love to see you guys coming out and joining the show and talking some sports with us. So this upcoming Saturday, 8:00, be on the lookout because we will post the link to the StreamYard into our Facebook page. All right, let's keep it going. That's what Brandon said. Zimmer should be gone faster than Jason McMinn ducking me at a concert. Also, Brandon said, hey, he would love to, Mighty, talk about that. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, Brandon message me, Frankie, whoever, and we'll give you some more details. And we would love to get you on this upcoming Saturday. All right, so talk about some win streaks here, Frankie. Like little graphic I found here on Google Images. What's more impressive, New England, Kansas City, or the Miami Dolphins win streak right now?
Well, they're all good winning streaks. Obviously,
Yep.
I love my team's winning streak, but I'm going to honestly change it up, and I'm going to go with Miami. Miami has been doing a great job. They started off 1-7, and now they're only 5-7, 2 games away from being second place to the Buffalo Bills. And they still got to face the Patriots. I think they still got to face the Bills once, and it's going to be a great game. Or I'm sorry, a great end of the season to see who continues their streak. I like Kansas City's win streak right now, but this is, it's Kansas City. You expect them to do what they're doing right now with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. You expect them to win these games. The same thing with New England. We've been looking hot, not playing really tough competitive teams. We played an injured Titans team. We played an injured running back Cleveland Browns team. We played a really good Chargers team. But we haven't been, I feel that the tough competitions was against the Bills on Monday night and the competition that's coming up in 2 weeks, the Indianapolis Colts. That's our next game after the bye week. Exactly. Yeah. And we're both on a bye week, so we both getting wet rested.
You're both going to be even. Yeah, so it's going to be good.
So I'm gonna go with Miami. I feel like Miami's doing a really good job with their winning streak. I like my winning streak, but Miami's more hot. They started 2-7. We started 2-4 before our winning streak. They were 1-7, so they're doing really good.
Brandon also said, talking about the Patriots game, when was the last time the 2 punters in the same game had more yards than both offenses? I'm sure it's happened before, right? Maybe back in the older days of football when they didn't know what
Super Bowl 53 with the Patriots and the Rams. Yeah. Our punter had more yards than the entire first half of both teams.
Yeah, there you go. So I think for me, obviously Miami is impressive, right? They started off rough and now they're right there in the thick of things. Kansas City, it's they started off kind of decent. The Raiders were hot. Raiders had a lot going. They still have a lot going on this year. They've kind of cooled off a little bit. But Frankie, you're going to love me for this. I'm going to go with the Patriots because everyone's down the Patriots, right? Everyone's like, all right, well, Bill Belichick's a fraud. It was, Cam Newton should be the GOAT. They cut Cam Newton. They got all their defensive players back from last year. They added some new ones. And I wouldn't say it's expected. They're supposed to, that they were supposed to be as good right now. I mean, but the win streaks they've been on, the way they've been winning games, it's been really impressive. So, I mean, when you have the greatest coach of all time in Bill Belichick, a really good, like you mentioned, and I'm in agreement with you, the offensive rookie of the year in Mac Jones, I'm going to say it right now, Frankie, you'll agree with me, the best quarterback taken in this past draft, the one that's looking the best. Because, I mean, look at what other quarterbacks doing, right? Justin Fields, he's hurt, right? But he's had some good moments. Trey Lance barely gets in the ball games. Trevor Lawrence sucks. Zach Wilson, he's hurt, but when he's been playing, he ain't been good. So, I mean, Mac Jones is the best quarterback taken in this draft, and I knew that coming into this year, he was the most pro-ready because he went from a great college coach in Nick Saban, right? Probably, obviously, he was an NFL coach, but the most NFL-ready coach in college football, right? And then you go to the GOAT in the NFL with Bill Belichick. He's basically destined for greatness with that recipe, right? With both those two coaches instilling a bunch of knowledge. So I'm going to go with New England because they started off kind of rough. And now recently, the past couple of weeks, they've been looking really good. Let's see. Brandon said, I would say the Lions winning streak is impressive.
It is impressive. It is.
Let me say, Brandon, a win streak, you have to have more than one. That's a streak. So if the Lions can win 2 in a row, then they'd beat all these teams. That would be the most impressive. But if
the Lions win another game, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Houston Texans was the first team eliminated from playoff contention and not the Lions. So it shows that the Lions still have a chance to make the playoffs.
that tie saved them, man. Jay came in saying New England, you can't look past the Buffalo game. Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
It's
horrible weather
fantastic.
conditions. They ran the
Fantastic.
ball 46, 48 times, 1-2.
222 yards on the ground,
I'm about to
baby.
say, it wasn't like it was an offensive showcase, right?
I'm going
It
to tell
wasn't
you
like-
what, though. I'm going to
but
tell you
they
something.
got the job done.
We play these guys again in 3 weeks, and in
Yep.
3 weeks is going to be in Foxborough. And I'm going to say something.
Mhm.
It's not going to be as windy as it was in Buffalo.
No.
And they ain't see every pass play that we had that night. So expect a lot of balls in the air that day.
Leave, huh? Brandon is calling it now, going out on a whim, saying that the Lions will win this week. Who are the Lions playing this week by chance? Hopefully it's a cream puff team like the Texans.
Jaguars.
They play the Lions play the Denver Broncos this upcoming Sunday. They could win that. The Broncos are mediocre. They're right in the middle of the pack. They could win it. Let's go Lions. Let's go Lions. Get this win. Get a win streak going. All right. Enough football. Let's move on to some other sports. So, should Portland's new GM, right? They got a new GM. They got a new head coach in Chauncey Billups. Should they just blow it up, Frankie, and trade Damian Lillard, or should they stay the course and run it out?
I feel like Damian Lillard should demand a trade at this point. I don't even know why he re-signed a contract with Portland. I thought he was going to be gone at this season, and I honestly thought he was going to come to the Lakers after having a meeting with LeBron James and AD. But I don't like Damian Lillard in Portland. He's not doing nothing for his career. It's kind of like how Chris Paul was when he was with the Hornets and with the Clippers. He wasn't being able to do nothing. I feel like Damian Lillard deserves to be on another team, a team not with superstar players, but with good young core talented players. I feel like, Damian Lillard maybe with the Chicago Bulls or even with the New Orleans Pelicans. I feel like Damian Lillard with the New Orleans Pelicans and being next to LaMelo Ball will be a really good thing. So he needs to get out of there. He needs to demand a trade. And the hell with this new GM and Chauncey Billups with the new head coach. It's not a good fit for Damian Lillard. How many head coaches that this guy's been with in his career?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Lillard McCollum pairing was nice for a few years. They had a good team, and they made the playoffs. Right. They were consistently making the playoffs, but at the moment, they're 11-15. I think they're 10th in the West. McCollum's out at the moment. I don't know how long. Actually, yeah. So McCollum has a collapsed right lung.
Yeah.
He's going to undergo further evaluation. Lillard said something wrong with his abdomen. He underwent a cortisone injection, but he should be coming back on Sunday. So, I mean, your two stars are out. So those are basically two losses. And when you look at this Portland Trail Blazers roster, right? Lillard leads the team in points with 21.5. Yusuf Nurkic he's a decent center, right? Nothing crazy. He's gonna get you some boards, but that's about it. But then it's a bunch of it's a bunch of guys. It's Norman Powell, who was good in Toronto, Anthony Simmons, Robert Covington, Larry Nance Jr., Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore, Cody Zeller. This is not a playoff team, right? If you took away Lillard or McCollum, this team doesn't even make the playoffs. And at the moment, they're not making the playoffs. Chauncey Billups, I'm not judging him off of one season. That's just not fair. But is it going to work out right now? It ain't working the best. You mentioned that Lillard did sign an extension somewhat recently, and I don't know why. I know that he's a very dedicated person. He wants to really, help out Portland. He's been there his whole career. He doesn't want to leave, but they ain't doing nothing for him. It was a thing of what have you done for me lately? And the Trailblazers ain't done nothing lately. They've just been middle of the pack or below it for years now. And there ain't no way they're going to beat the Warriors or the Suns or anyone like that. There's no way. So if I'm with Portland, man, I'm trading people. I'm getting some draft picks, And I just got to start rebuilding because, yes, you do have a good 1-2 combo in McCollum and Lillard. We've been saying that for years. But what else do you got for me? Right? Basketball's nice, but you can't win it with just two people. You got to have a whole team. And that's why I'm thinking just blow it up, start fresh, get some new young talent in there, and, have Chauncey mentor some of the young guys and see what they can do. You can get a lot if you trade McCollum or Lillard, whichever one. If you trade one of them, you're going to get a haul for it. You're going to get some draft picks, some young players, right? I've seen Frankie, since we're on it, we're going to talk about him in just a second. Lillard, I've heard Lillard wants to maybe play with Ben Simmons. Maybe there's a trade Ben Simmons for Lillard. There's some stuff. There's a few possibilities, and a lot of teams right now could use Damian Lillard's talent. And if I was him, I would trade him because what else? What are they doing? Brandon saying it's the year of the Wolves. Hey, the Timberwolves they got some young players right now, right? They're on the come up.
I can't believe he just brought that up. He's worse than Joshua Bailey on MLB season.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Josh was saying for the longest, right? And I will give him this when the Giants sucked in the beginning of the year, and he was like, "Oh man, Giants are number one. They had I think the first or second most wins in MLB, but then they got knocked out in the playoffs." So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm trading Lillard. Speaking of Ben Simmons, does his lack of shooting make him a liability in a trade?
Yeah. Definitely.
That's all you need to see.
Definitely. They're going to look at this guy and be like, well, did your free throw shots get better? No. Did your mid-range get better? No. Did your three-point shots get better? Let's see what you got. Come to our practice facility and let's see what you got. And I've been saying this since last year. Mm-hmm. I've said Doc Rivers need to put this guy on the line, and he needs to make 100 free throws. If he can make 100 free throws or even 90 free throws, then he's okay. Let him shoot 100. If he makes 100 for 100, he's good. If he makes 90 for 100, he's okay. If he doesn't make 90, he's terrible. Terrible. So I think every team that wants to try and trade for Simmons, they should look at it and have him shoot 100 free throws. And if he can make a certain percentage of his free throws, then yes, trade for him.
What a weird case this is, right? Right, Frankie? He came into the league. He looked good, right? Everyone's like, man, this guy is going to be a future star. We know he can't shoot, but he can do everything else you want him to, right? You got Joel Embiid. You got, they had Jimmy Butler and some other guys at the time. And after the playoffs last year, he hasn't played a game. He, first it was just he didn't want to talk to people at the Sixers, and now it's some mental health situation, which we don't know about. So first off, we don't even know if he's going to play this season. They're finding him a lot of money to get back just practicing or just on the court, and it's not making much progress, right? You're not seeing reports of, oh, Ben Simmons is expected to play in 2 weeks. You're not seeing that. We're almost to the All-Star break, right? We're almost there. We just got through about, 25% of the season, and this guy hasn't even stepped foot on the court for a second. So, of course it's a liability his shooting is, but it's not just his shooting, it's his work ethic, Frankie. Because you mentioned, he can't shoot free throws, he can't shoot mid-range, he can't shoot threes. So, beside passing and defense, what are you going to do for me? You can find that with a backup, right? You can find those qualities in a backup player. And he's not working on it, obviously. So, everyone's like, oh, he's the big name right there in trade talks. But you're making a real gamble if you're trading for this guy. And the Sixers aren't helping out because they're asking for the moon. They're asking for 3 first-round picks. Your second best player on the team. I wouldn't do that at all. No, ain't no way I would trade all those draft picks or whatever and one of my better players for Ben Simmons. Not right now. What have you done for me lately? You ain't played.
If the 76ers don't trade him by the trade deadline, I feel like they will drop, they would change their minds on that 3 first-rounders for him. I feel like they will get a first and maybe 2 second-rounders for him, or maybe a first-rounder and a top young core player maybe. I don't know. But like you said, the question is who will trade for him?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. You said Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
That would be
Jay's up there.
surprisingly to me because if Portland somehow want to get Ben Simmons and Philly somehow grabs Damian Lillard, everybody in the East should be
Yeah.
scared of Philly.
Jay's got looks like Porzingis. And I mean, that's another case of like, you got talent, but you kind of suck right now. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I feel that could maybe work though, right? Have Simmons dishing it out to Luka? Maybe, but like I said, he's got to get on the court before I even trade him. You got to prove that you got to have a good stretch, right? You got to play at least 25 games at minimum for me, Frankie, and you got to look good. You can't look like crap. You got to be able to hit some free throws. You got to be able to look like you're in good shape before I even think about trading. I'm not trading you without even playing a game this year. Ain't no way.
This guy is not going to Dallas. Mark Cuban will not sign or trade for this guy. Mark Cuban is not that dumb. He knows.
Right.
He knows not to trade for this guy.
Fair. All right. Speaking of players that are underwhelming, Zion Williamson. Also, you like the picture? Should the Pelicans move on from Zion with his weight and health issues? Frankie, it's been reported, I think as of just last night, that he is upwards of 330 pounds. What would you do if you were the GM of the Pelicans, who have, I think, the worst record in the league, if not, I know they're the worst in the West. So, what would you do?
Keep him. Keep him. Help him. It's not his fault. He's a big guy. It is not his fault that he got injured and he's, just been sitting on the couch. I mean, yes, you should be working out and stuff, but the man don't want to. Who cares? We're big dudes. I agree with him. Sit on the couch, eat some chips, drink some soda,
Just chill.
watch some cartoons. Who cares? Some Disney Channel, whatever. But he's 300 plus pounds now. That's perfect. That's perfect. You got the future Shaq now. You literally got the future Shaq. Bring him back, help him lose his weight, and build and lose the fat and build the muscle. He has the muscle in him now with the bigness in him. You can just help him lose the fat and gain the muscle, and he will be a big threat in the center for the Pelicans. I would not trade him. I would not let him go. I would not worry. I will help him, and I will help him lose the weight, the fat, but help the fat gain into the muscle.
Ain't no way I'm trading this dude. You drafted him number 1 overall. This is the cornerstone of your franchise. If you trade away Zion, you have, I don't even know who's on that roster. So I mean, Zion's contract is up soon, Frankie, right? I think he's got maybe one more year after this. And I think he's eating his way out of New Orleans, because I remember very vividly, I think it was draft night or pre-draft, he said he wanted to go to New York. He wants to go to the New York Knicks. So I would not be surprised if he's just eating his way out of New Orleans. And I saw a stat yesterday, Frankie. In all of the, potential games he could have played so far in his career, he's only played half. He's been hurt so much. And it sucked because this dude was a monster at Duke. The next, Michael Jordan, the next LeBron James with his size and his power and explosiveness. But we're not seeing that because he's not on the court. He's been hurt with knee injuries, with leg injuries, all because he's eating. That's it. He's eating. He's not working out as hard or at all, right? He might not even be working out. So, like Brandon said, if basketball don't work, bring him to WWE, bring him to AEW. He'll be a champion in 3 weeks. I guarantee it. But I'm not trading Zion right now because who would want to? I mean, oh man, it's tough. I would definitely, he needs to lose some weight and get healthy, get back on the court, get his value up. But I feel like maybe next year, right? Because I think he's free agent after next year. I think the Pelicans should trade for him or should trade him next year because all signs, Frankie, are pointing like he's leaving New Orleans and that he's not coming back. And I don't blame him. The Pelicans they've won 7 games this year. They've got no one around this guy. And when you draft someone number 1 overall, obviously your team sucks. But you're supposed to help build around him. And that's what blows my mind, Frankie, is they had a good core. They had Lonzo Ball. They had Brandon Ingram. And then they got rid of those 2 guys. and now it's just Zion all by his lonesome, and they're expecting to do a LeBron James treatment of building a team from nothing back in Cleveland. It sucks. I hope Zion gets his weight down and goes on the treadmill a little bit more, but I think that I wouldn't trade him right now. Next year, maybe we'll talk about it more, but not right now. Ain't no way. All right. Is the just easy question? We got about 10 minutes left in the show. Is the transfer portal a good or a bad thing in the NCAA? Because we've been seeing a lot of high-profile players from all the conferences transferring out this year. So, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you not? What do you think? Also, Jesus Christ, Brandon. The Pokers did brother on. They built a buffet. Yeah, all the jokes about Zion and eating all that soul food is unfortunately coming to light. So what do you think, Frankie? Do you like the transfer portal? Do you not like it?
It really don't matter to me. I mean, I'm gonna say I don't like it, honestly. But at the end of the day, what can you do at the NCAA? People want to transfer,
I mean, I'm all right with it just because I'm gonna take Oklahoma just as a recent example. Spencer Rattler sucked this year. He was expected to be a potential Heisman finalist at the beginning of the year in the preseason. He didn't play good. Caleb Williams, the freshman, came in, took his spot. You think they're going to give it back to Rattler next year? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. He still has, I think, a high enough ceiling to still get drafted. So I think that transferring to wherever he's going to go, right, he's going to try and get his stock built back up. That it helps a lot of guys that are not getting playing time or, they might not like their coaches or whatever. I don't have an issue with it. But I mean, I think we're seeing a lot more guys transferring than ever. So, I mean, I'm all right with it. I don't got an issue with it. Brandon said, question, is the Gophers quarterback Tanner Morgan coming back for a sixth season? I don't know. Let me look at his stats. I mean, I know that obviously, if he's come back for a sixth season, I don't think he's probably going to get drafted high, right? So I mean, I don't know, Brandon. Personally, I don't watch Minnesota football religiously like you do. But if you come back for a sixth season, right? I mean, why not? Right? Why not?
Is that a college team?
Yeah, Minnesota Golden Gophers.
You're allowed to play 6 seasons in college?
Because the COVID year, I think, yes, I think so.
Is he going to be a doctor or something? He's going to stay in school for 8 years or 12 years? He's going to be playing, what?
Yeah,
He's in the NFL by now?
It's probably great. It's crazy, though, because he's 22, right? He was born in 1999, but this is his sixth season. So,
then, yeah, he'll come back. Brandon, he's going to come back for a season. Yeah, sixth season.
If you're coming back for your sixth season, right, you're coming back just for that last ride. Let's be real, right? You would have been drafted by now, if otherwise. So, yeah, let's go Tanner Morgan. Shout out to all the Golden Gophers out there. All right. Well, Frankie, we knew this was going to rear its head again. It's never going to go away. There's been more COVID cases. I got the Bulls there. They've got some players out. The Hornets got, I think, 5 players out. I just saw, I think, Masai Ujiri, the president for the Raptors, I just saw on Twitter, has it now. So, are back to the bubble, or what do you think?
I don't think it's going to go back to the bubble because, these players are vaccinated, and let's be real, you could be vaccinated even with the booster shot, and you could still get COVID. It's just not going to be as bad as it will be without the shot, but you still be able to get it. It's just sad to see Chicago Bulls earlier today had another player go into the COVID test. That makes it now 5 players for the Chicago Bulls, just like the Pelicans with 5 players. And like Logan said earlier on Twitter, the president for the Toronto Raptors ended up with COVID, and that postponed the practices for both the Raptors and the team. I forgot who they're facing today. I think it's the Pacers or something.
Yeah.
It postponed both their practices, so that might postpone their game.
Yeah, because Rick Carlisle, the head coach for the Pacers, he got COVID too. So
yeah, so I don't feel like it's gonna, go back to the bubble. We're just gonna see some postponed games and make updates.
Brandon's got something interesting here. Could we see a 2-week play stop to get through this COVID? Oh, that's tough. That's not a bad idea, right? But I don't think it's that serious yet.
Yeah, no.
If we see more and more, I don't know the percentage right now. I know the majority, probably 90+% of players are vaccinated in the NBA. You have to. I saw that the other day that you can't travel, you can't play in Toronto or Canada, right? You can't go. So that's going to be an effect. I mean, I could see that maybe happening, Brandon, a 2-week stoppage, but I think the numbers are still too low right now to do that. And I don't know about every arena, but I'm assuming that they have mask mandates still or whatever. They check to see if you're vaccinated. So I mean, NBA is doing their best, but like Frankie said, even if you are fully vaccinated with that booster, you can still get COVID. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do a 2-week play stop. I
Yeah.
think, like I said, they'll probably postpone their games and make up their
Yeah,
games
make 'em up
later
later.
into the season
Yeah.
to where
Which is
it'll
fine.
be more
That's fine.
tiring. Yeah, it's fine. It'll just be more tiring for them instead of having a game every other day.
Mhm.
They'll probably have like a 3-game day where they play 3 straight or something.
Yeah. No doubt about that. Okay, well, I think we have our last topic here. Yes, of course, the NFL Fantasy League update, like I promised Brandon Herrera earlier. Let me pull it up here on my handy dandy MacBook.
Yeah, let me pull it up on my handy dandy iPhone.
We're gonna start from the bottom. In dead last with a 1-12 record. We have Cheese or Ches. Did we figure out who that was, by the way, Frank? I have no idea.
No,
Is that you, Joshua Bailey? I don't
I hope not.
I don't know. In ninth place, it's me, 4-9. I haven't had a good year. Honestly, I'm gonna lie. Some weeks I just forget to check, so that's on me. Right in front of me though is our guy, Big Shot Rob. Rob Strike. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Hope to have you back on the show soon. In seventh, we have Bella Check Yourself with a 6-7 record. Up sixth, we have Breaking the Game, 6-7 also. Alan to Diggs in fifth, 6-7. Tinker's Toys, 6-7 in fourth. So there goes that. That's a 4-way tie, right, for fourth place. And here comes the big three. In third, we have Frankie C with the Cowboys Suck, 10-3 record. Looking good, Frankie. Won 8 in a row. Hot streak.
I look like the Patriots.
In second place, we have Jay McLovin with the McLovins. 11-2 record. 6-game win streak. And in number one, and currently leading the consultation prize for, let's not forget, if you are a guest and if you win the Fantasy League, you get to host an entire show of Unscripted. Brandon Herrera, 3-game win streak, 11-2, but Jay's tied with you, and Frankie is in the woodwork. So we still have a few weeks left, right? The season still is there. So we're getting close. The playoffs right now, Brandon has the number 1 seed. Jay didn't have an opponent at the moment.
Hey.
What?
They play each other this week.
Do they?
Jay and Brandon
they
play
do.
each other for the first seed and second seed.
That's
And let me tell you something, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great for these two.
My phone all Sunday.
Me too.
Because I'm out of it, I'm in it for the fun, for the stats.
I mean, not really. You're not really out of it. You're 4. What you say?
Man. I'm not last, but I'm at the.
You're 4-9. Logan, 2 more wins and you'll be tied with the 4th. With those guys.
I need to go on an in-depth analysis this tonight, tomorrow, Frankie.
Talk to me after the show.
Yeah,
maybe we could do a commissioner trade or something.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone in the fantasy league. Like I said, hopefully we'll see who wins. I mean, we never really figured anything out, Frankie, for if any of us won. It's just we win. So we'll think of something. We still got a few weeks left. But right now, Brandon, you're in the lead. Good luck to you. And like I said, on Saturday, we are going to open up the floor to Unscripted. If you want to come on the show, you can. We will put the link to the show on our Facebook page. We'll pin it to the top. That way everyone can see it. Just easy. You click on it. You go on Google Chrome. That's the best way to use it. Go on Google Chrome. Allow your camera to, if you want your camera on, it's fine. If not, that's up to you. Just make sure your mic's good. Don't be in a crowded environment. Keep it PG friendly. Come on the show. Talk some sports. We'd love to have you on. We'll keep you on for a segment or two. Just whatever you want to talk about. And like I said, everyone is open. We hope to see a flood of people in here, Frankie. It's going to be a party. And we hope to come see all of you on Saturday talking some sports because it's always a fun time. So Thank you guys so much for tuning in to your Thursday night episode of Unscripted, live here on Facebook at Unscripted, at Northeast Streaming Sports, on their Facebook page, on their YouTube channel. Check them out. Shout out to BS3 Radio, Ben Sutherland with Spreaker for our dude for making the podcast look, getting some good listens. Thanks to all the fans for watching us. Thank you to Frankie for coming on and doing some great sports content. I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. You guys check us out on Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Check out the Facebook for the link, and we will see you then. Have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.
Time to get ready for work.
You're listening to Unscripted on Northeast Streaming Sports.